That's what He's commanded us to do. We have is our voice of truth and our faith. To have lasting faith. To have lasting faith. Everyone you come in contact with at some point, God has put in your path. It's knowing when you're being attacked on all sides, nothing is going right, not dramatically. Nothing is going right, not dramatically, if you're not careful. Because words, if you're not careful, because words have a very big impact. Words have a very big impact on somebody's faith and well-being. Was just a bad waiter. He was mad. He was mad. He was just wasn't getting the food. He was just wasn't getting the food out very well. He was just doing all this um, stuff that just was not pleasing to these people. And this father, he had I think four boys. I think four boys, and and the father is doing a really good job. He told him, he goes, he didn't confront the waiter, but he made the boys do it. But he made them do it in a way that was pleasing to God and everything, because they didn't get angry. Even though they were angry, they didn't show anger. They wanted to, but Dad said, "Calm down. Look, you don't know his situation. You don't know what's going on. Let's figure this out." So they called the manager, and the manager come over, and he told the boys how to talk to her, be nice, don't be angry about what's going on. Just let her know what happened, and see what she's going to do. So the manager gets over, and the boys proceed in a nice, gentle way to explain to the manager what happened. And so the manager leaves and talks to the employee and everything. The employee comes back and everything and apologizes to these people and explains to them, "Well, my car broke down. I don't have the money to fix it. And I had to walk to work, and I was just angry." And he goes, "I apologize for it. There wasn't no call for it." And at the end, after all the explaining everything, the dad told him, "Well, what should you do?" To ask the boys, "What should you do?" and everything. And he said, "You need to see if you could pray for him." And so they prayed for him, and they asked him if he could pray for him. He said, "Yes, pray for me." So they prayed for him, and I believe his day went on to be a lot better, because the faith they showed, the faith that the father was showing to the sons on how to act, meant that the anger didn't explode into uh, chaos in his own house and lead to other people being angry at the day because of one person. Your faith is dangerous to the world, though, because the world loves the dark. The world loves to be in the dark. They don't want the light shining on them. They don't want the light saying, "Hey, I know what you've been doing." They want to keep all that in the dark. But God will send you to places. It may not be to oversee something. It may be in your own backyard. But He's going to send you to places to share the word, to share your faith with other people. And that could be dangerous because the world loves dark. But have you ever seen when a believer uh, is in the midst of a true God hating world? When you see people that are true believer and they go before Satan and his dominions, it could be truly terrifying. I've watched some on YouTube. I haven't experienced it myself, and I hope God is gracious enough to not let me. But if He does, I hope I'm faithful enough and mature enough to handle it the way it needs to be handled. But they're like wolves ready to tear you apart. And I've seen it several times on YouTube and stuff like that when Christians are trying to spread the word. I mean, they are just vicious. But see, the world doesn't mind you giving scripture or, saying God bless you and stuff. Most of the time, they don't mind that. But what they do mind and what they detest is when you bring your faith into it. When you come in the name of the Lord, that's when they get really violent. You can preach all day. They'll walk by you, not a problem. You bring faith into it, they're going to have a problem. Like I said earlier, faith gets angry. Faith gets angry because it's forced to witness your lack of action. Your faith is, and I don't know my lack of action the last couple of months. I can tell my faith is very angry. Has been very angry with me. It is not pleased in my actions. Because 5 times Christ had to say to the disciples, "You of little faith." Because it's the fact that we're lazy and undisciplined that really angers God. If we don't discipline ourselves and have faith where we need it and show our love to other believers, now you can better believe that angers God. But how many times he has to tell you to go and do as I command you? How many times did he have to tell us that? I know he's told me at least 1,000,000 times. I don't know about y'all. Probably more. I constantly do what I want. Like Paul said, I do what I want to do and don't do what I should do, or something like that. I don't want to get off on something else. But it takes strength and discipline to really now I'm trying to get my train of thought back. Okay. To anchor down your faith. It takes a lot of strength and a lot of discipline. Because you're going to hit and miss when you're first starting out. Because your faith has to be tested. God has to test your faith to help you to grow. Like I said, it's not something you can just, well, I have faith, I'm ready to go out and conquer the world. That's not how it happens. You got to grow some first, and it's got to be tested and make sure that you're ready to go out. Just like all the apostles, even they tested Paul to see if he was actually an apostle. They tested everything about what's being said. Nothing they did with what was done without being some kind of test on it. Even Christ says, "You're going to be tested through fire." And I look at it like, okay, Noah had to build his ark in the desert. On dry land, never rains. They didn't know what rain was. But he had to build a boat. Why would you need a boat in the desert? I bet you he got mocked quite a bit. for building this huge boat in the desert and it never rained. But he said, I got faith. I know what's going to happen. Y'all keep talking. I'm going to keep building. Now, that's strength and discipline and faith. I mean, that is some really great strength not to just go out and fight all day long because somebody said some bad words to you and everything. Because faith is an act of worship. I mean, if you think about it, when you are worship, like when we worship, that is an act pleasing to God. And when we show our faith and we show our love to God, that's worship, and to others, that's worship. So my question is, how does God see your faith? How is it when he's looking at you? How's he seeing your faith? Does he see something that is to be detested? Eh, he's mine, but man, he needs to grow. Or is it something like when he tells Satan, "Well, look at my man Job." So what? So how's your faith?